Grief is just love with nowhere to go. This quote is a popular quote that so accurately captures how grief can feel. Today, we're going to explore the strengths and the weaknesses that are inherent in this quote. Watch to the end of this video where I share a tool and an amazing resource that I found while doing my research in order to meet your grief. My name is Jo McRogers. Welcome back, or welcome here for the first time in our little piece of the YouTube world where our goal is to do grief differently. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that we can inform YouTube about how grief needs to be seen, heard, and supported. The full quote reads, "Grief, I've learned, is really just love. It is all the love you want to give but cannot. All that unspent love gathers up in the corners of our eyes and the lump in your throat and in that hollow part of your chest. Grief is just love with no place to go." This quote has been attributed to Jamie Anderson. This quote captures so perfectly how grief can feel, and I think that this is why this quote has become so popular on social media, on condolence cards, in spoken words at services and tributes, celebrations of life, and on headstones. When someone you love dies, it can feel like a full stop. The love, the life, the connection that you shared has just stopped. It is empty, yet provoking. It is hollow, yet so charged. And with no pun intended, this quote about love having nowhere to go is like a dead end to the essence of the relationship that you shared with your loved one. Please share below in the comments if this has been your experience of loss and grief. Does this quote feel as though it matches your experience of your grief? My concern of the implication of this quote is that there is also nowhere for the grief to go. I worry that people confuse this with the quote and feels as if nothing can be done. They confuse the loss and the grief. They confuse the love and the grief. If it has nowhere to go, then it suggests that detachment may be the primary theme in loss. I want to suggest that one of the most important expressions of grief is in fact attachment. Attachment to the loved and lost. This can be accomplished through honoring the love that you still carry in your heart for them. It can be accomplished through honoring the history that you have shared, the memories that you have knowledge of, and the important aspect of creating a new relationship with the person that you have loved who is no longer here. So how can I do this? They are no longer here. This is where most people start when I suggest the importance of the role of attachment in their grief. One of the most important methods that we all have access to, regardless of our beliefs or our religion, our culture, or our finances, is ritual. Ritual can mean so many things, so please don't let that word scare you off. In my opinion, ritual is an important expression of love with your words, with your deeds, with your actions and your intentions. A study of the bereaved found that some mourners are more emotionally resilient than others, and those who overcome their grief more quickly, which I'm not comfortable with that phrase, but they all have something very important in common. Following the loss, they performed what researchers have referred to as rituals. But it's important, again, as I say, to check what your definition of a ritual may be. There are public ones, funerals, wearing black clothes, sitting Shiva, and so many other public rituals of grief. However, this study of rituals to support grief reported that only 15% of the rituals were public or had a social element, and of those, only just 5% of them were religious. So by far the most rituals utilized successfully by grievers were personal and performed often alone. The researchers found that rituals help people to overcome, integrate is my word, overcome some grief by counteracting the turbulence and chaos that follows loss. Unquote. Rituals, which are deliberately controlled gestures, trigger a very specific feeling in mourners, the feeling of being in control of their lives. After people did a ritual or wrote about doing one, they were more likely to report thinking that things were in check and less likely to feel helpless, powerless, and out of control. End of quote. The beauty of this research revealed that you don't even have to believe in the power of rituals in order to experience some solace from performing them. Sometimes our hearts don't need to know the science, but for those of you who do wish to know the science, I have left the link to this study in the description of this video. Grief rituals can give a semblance of routine, of power and control and connection. They don't erase the pain, but they do provide an expression of the pain and a path to connection. Each of us who has loved and lost someone wishes for our loved one to not be forgotten. Rituals landmark our loved ones in the present day. This can serve as a massive antidote to grief. Grief is such a very personal journey, and it asks us to get comfortable with our discomfort. Sometimes grief rituals may look like sitting in complete silence, and that can be really uncomfortable. Sometimes they can be lighting a candle and remembering. Other times they are elaborately constructed and detailed practices, such as establishing a massively successful hockey tournament or a golf tournament. They can be to remember, to honor, or to fundraise. Rituals can look like creating a memory place. Gardens are often a place of memory. Planting trees or flowers or shrubs. You can gather objects and create a tribute memorial. It can be one that lasts forever. It can be one that you change when it feels right, or it could be one that you release out into the world. A ritual could be taking flower petals to the creek and releasing them with words of love. You can create a lasting legacy, such as donating toys to a children's ward that would parallel the age of your child every year. You can give donations to a cause that your person believed in annually on special dates. You can have a meal of their favorite food on important dates. You can use your creativity to write or paint or move. These can all be dedicated rituals. You can dedicate your next walk to the person that you've loved and lost. You can play music that reminds you of your loved one. You can watch a movie that you know they loved and cherished. You can write a letter to your loved one. You can create a memory scrapbook, filling it with photographs, letters, postcards, notes, memories written down with pictures, significant memorabilia from your life together, maybe letters that have been exchanged. Rituals can always be simple. They don't need to take a lot of time or organizing. Though they may be simple, they may not be easy, especially at first. Patience, experimentation, and reaping the benefits will take time, so you need perseverance and a willingness to be open to experimenting. But please do consider how you are giving your love and your grief a place to go. In doing my research for this video, I found this amazing resource that's based in the United States. It is essentially a brilliantly written guide of how to create your own private, personalized rituals that will hold so much personal meaning and power for you. The link to this guide is included in the description of this video, and I just have to say hats off and thank you to the people who have constructed this. It's the dinner party. You can search them out on the net also. So please do have a go to this guide, because I think it can make a difference in where does your love and your grief go. What to do with your grief is the focus of my private therapy practice, but it's now also the focus of the private online community that I'm creating. If you'd like to learn more about this, you can find the link in both the comments and the descriptions of the video below. If this video has sparked some questions or thoughts, please comment below so that we can, again, all learn together. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so that you'll know when I post my next video that follows up, that supports the idea of ritual as I explore the model of grief called the continuing bonds model. As you find a way to give your grief and love a place to go, I send you kind thoughts, kind words, and a kind heart. Take good care, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again.